Steve Davis, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Richard. Am I on? Yes. That's sounding a little bit distant today. Maybe I've still got the man flu on the microphone. I'll just keep talking for you as we find out what's going on with my voice. Okay, see, they're bringing in the big guns now. It's the red button.
There we go, Steve. Thanks, Patrick.
Isn't that innovative? The red button's connected to the microphone.
I know. It's the first microphone muck-up I've had in 2 weeks, so glad you recovered from the man flu, Steve.
I'm glad you have too.
Yeah,
No, look, it's been an interesting week. I must confess, two things happened this week. One was Oscar Wilde had his birthday. 170 years. On Wednesday, it was 170 years. He's seen better days.
Right.
Probably in less pain now than he was towards the end, because our business, Talked About Marketing, is named after one of his quips. There's only one thing worse than being talked about, and that's not being talked about. So he's got a special place in our hearts. So we celebrated his 170th anniversary of his birth. And on doing that, I was reflecting on what would Oscar do today in this era of selfies? Because we all see selfies on social media. And I must say, they tend to have the most banal, boring, cliched, repetitive little captions that go with them that would make him mind-numbingly mad. People just don't...
Give me an example. What's a caption on a selfie you don't like?
Like here, I'll reel off a few of them, actually. I did a bit of research because I knew you'd ask me.
That's good, Steve.
These are some of the common ones. But first, let me take a selfie. And then they share a selfie. I woke up like this. And that's
we don't need to see that, by the way.
Yeah. Feeling cute, might delete later. You would have seen these.
Yeah.
Selfie time, exclamation mark. See, this is not the height of human creativity. Confidence level, selfie with no filter. Proof I left my house. Just sit back and enjoy the view. The other one I find is when people...
Just sit back and enjoy the view.
Yes.
Good. Tickets.
And the other one is today's office, where people take a selfie of them on the beach or somewhere with their laptop in hand to try and show off. And you always
Don't take your laptop down the beach, people, just from a
yes,
point of view. Sand blows in it. It's not good, all right? We don't want that.
So that is the sort of stuff I'm talking about. And I put myself to the test. What would Oscar say in some of these situations? And look, this is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, all right? There are going to be some people just happy with that. Others who go, why are you wasting your time even doing selfies in the first place? Get on with your life. But if you are going to contribute to the social feed, I think, why not give it a bit of flair? Why not do something that's worth talking about? And so, I mean, there's a great quote. Oscar actually once said, "It's a curious fact that people are never so trivial as when they take themselves seriously."
Right.
And so I was just playing around. I mean, for example, I think if he was doing a selfie, he would, a few I came up with this. Before I embark on the triviality of existence, let me first capture its most fleeting moment, myself. I mean, that's very Oscar.
That is very Oscar.
But I just think it's worth a moment's thought if that's your ilk. I like this one. I awoke this morning in perfect disarray, for art, as they say, is never truly finished, only abandoned.
See, there's a big difference between those sort of quotes and the, how do we say this kindly, the crap that you've had on before, for it. Because it really is about, when people today seem to go along and take selfies, and I'm always reluctant to take selfies.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of, here I am in front of the gym. Here I am at FIVEaa. It's how can we expand on that sort of thing?
Well, I've actually got a couple of thoughts on that. I was thinking, I knew you were going to ask me. Richard will say, okay, well, what do we do? You don't have to be Oscar Wilde, but I just think, give your friends something to talk about. There are three ideas I could toss into the mix. One of them is use something that's called like a simile or a metaphor. So what I mean by that, a simile is when you
Kids,
say...
if you're out there, listen up to it. It's an English lesson right now.
A simile is when I say you're as busy as a beaver. So you're like something. That's a simile. Or you actually drop that all together and do a metaphor. So, for example, if I was wanting to mix up a post I was going to say, let's say it was a birthday wish I was giving someone, I could say, wishing you a birthday as epic as a roller coaster with no lines. Like it's better than just the usual happy birthday, but it's just giving it a special twist.
With no lines.
Yes.
There are so many jokes I could do
Well,
right now, Steve, but it's,
Well,
and it's 1:45 in the afternoon. No, we can't do that. Can't do those jokes.
Well, we don't have any along our coastal suburbs. Wishing you a birthday filled with joy, like a playlist where every song is your favourite on endless repeat. See, there's a nice little twist on that. So that's one thing. Just do a simile. Just think of what they remind you of and just do something a little bit different in that way. Oh, you're doing a selfie of us now.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a second rule, or a guide. Mix vanity with self-awareness. Just go over the top. Like, there's a whole thing on LinkedIn called humble bragging, when people brag and they try and make it sound like they're not really bragging.
Yes.
So let's say they get the job to be a keynote speaker somewhere. Instead of saying, I'm really proud, I've just been chosen as... Instead of saying that, they go, I'm so humbled to have been chosen as the expert speaker. But what you can do is, I think the way Oscar would do it is he'd say something like this. He'd take a selfie and say, the view is undoubtedly beautiful, but it's I who complete the scene. Like tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But you could have a bit of fun with that. So mix a bit of vanity and a bit of self-awareness. That's another way you can do it. Just go over the top. Just go over the top. And the third thing that I thought could be useful is just to exaggerate the mundane with humour. So I mean, actually, I remember hearing the writers of Seinfeld talk about their secret to comedy, and that was take something mundane and treat it like the biggest, most profound thing in the world, or take something really big and profound and just treat it like it's nothing.
How many episodes of Seinfeld did we watch where the Chinese restaurant one?
Yes.
You know, we can have an episode about waiting to go into a Chinese restaurant. Bottle returns. Collecting money for bottle returns.
That's right.
You know, there are so many episodes. You know, a cat stuck in an apartment and slicing up meat and sliding it under the door.
So and all they were doing was this little flip on the head. So a third thing is just flip things on the head, go for a bit of exaggeration. You know, may your birthday be as grand as a royal ball, minus the tiaras, but with double the cake.
Yes.
You know.
Do you think kids today, and people who do, I shouldn't start to, I sound like I'm about 100. Kids today, get off my lawn. Do you think that you know, people are putting selfies out there, are putting enough thought into what they say, or is it for them, is it all about the photo?
I think a lot of it's the photo. Having witnessed, I've got a couple of daughters, I don't want to name names, but
good afternoon to Steve's daughter.
But also know different people in the realm of selfies being important to their mind, and it really is. Show me the camera first. Oh, check this, all that, do that. So, and then, of course...
My hair right? Have we got the makeup on?
Can
you take it from the left-hand side? All of those sort of things.
Then they slap on just whatever the generic thing is everyone else says. Here's the trouble. 100 years from today, 200 years, historians, okay? Historians today, we find an old diary of Oscar Wilde or anyone, C.S. Lewis. It's all going to be really interesting stuff. Most of it. Even some of the mundane would still be interesting. When they look at the trove of data from the people alive now in a couple of 100 years' time, it's just going to be a wash, like a swamp of the same thing.
They'll plug it into AI, because it will still be around.
Yes.
And what can you tell us about the 2020s to 2030s.
They say the world went to sleep.
Yeah, not much happened. Move on very quickly.
And one other thing I did, and I think it was the mischief of Oscar Wilde. It was Wednesday. I was feeling a bit sorry for myself, and I saw people. This is what people do. It's my birthday. They say it's my birthday, and everyone piles on, and you get hundreds of messages. And then the next day, the person says, "I am so overwhelmed. Thank you for all my birthday wishes," and you get hundreds more. It wasn't my birthday, so I just cheekily put out a post. Yes, I am overwhelmed. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Who was one of the first people to congratulate me, Richard?
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
I was worried in case I'd missed your birthday.
And here's the thing. I got 61 messages almost immediately. And I have a rule with birthday wishes. If people just go, happy birthday, I consider that not really making an effort.
Yeah.
Because I never do that. If I'm going to give someone a message, I'll make it personal Wi-Fi. 2 friends said, hang on, Steve, your birthday's in June. They passed the litmus test. But here's the takeaway from this. If ever you're feeling down, if ever you're feeling a bit ignored, just write on Facebook, thank you everyone for all the birthday wishes. I'm overwhelmed. And watch what happens. And A, you better tell who your real friends are because they'll care. But secondly, you'll get a lot of people out of the blue just sending you love.
Or if you get nobody,
have
a good hard look at your Facebook friends list.
Yeah, you do have to do that. But because you haven't said anything wrong, because I was thankful for the birthday wishes I got. Admittedly,
I gave you a nice message, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah,
I felt a bit bad.
No, as you should have. I abused you afterwards when you told me it wasn't your birthday on there, didn't I?
So it was my birthday, and I got all the presents. Yes. having been able to catch Richard out, because I really thought you knew my birthday was in June. There you go.
I probably don't come around in June. Yeah, happy birthday, Steve. Rah, rah, rah. Yeah. This one's, hang on, it's not popped on Facebook. There must be something wrong, because as we all know, Mark Zuckerberg would never make an error.
Never.
Never.
No, he's as trustworthy as the Commonwealth Bank.
Be cheerio to the Commonwealth Bank people out there. Richard Rees Seinfeld, significant shrinkage like a frightened turtle, magnificent stuff. Cheers, Stavros. Yes, there we go. One of the best TV series of all time.
I agree. And there you go. That was all thanks to Oscar's birthday this week. Something a little bit different, bit of fun. Just that, come on, we can all do better.
Put a bit of effort into yourself.
Yeah.
Where can we find out more about you?
Talkedaboutmarketing.com is the website. Talkedaboutmarketing.com, there and all over the socials. And if you're doing Beta Burwood tomorrow, the Adelaide show has an episode up. We're talking to one of the guys in Adelaide who is the world leader in those car polishing detail pads.
Right.
Amazing. He's right here, and he shares one thing. The thickness of paint on cars is getting terribly thin, and it's all cost saving. No, it's all cost saving.
I've never believed that.
Even what you would consider the higher quality cars. Yeah. That shocked me.
No, it doesn't shock me at all. Steve Davis.